So setup wise for me, first thing we look at obviously the shaft lean, much better. You're getting the club hand position, it's more neutral through your left shoulder, it's not way back here and not slipping and dragging backwards, okay? As you go to the top of the backswing, you're on that blue line a lot more, okay? So you're not swaying off the ball there, so you're not more stable. What we've got to work on, this is going to take, again, a little bit of practice. Certainly you're getting a lot better at it, okay? But as you start bringing the golf club down now, it's keeping that lower half unwinding the top up. There's a little bit of lateral move there.
Yeah, but it's
not
in
the move, exactly. The move, for me, and this is about, in some ways, understanding how we sort of separate the shoulders and the lower half. How can we keep that back there and use that lower half to unwind a bit more? So the club now comes back down. Head's not swaying so much. I mean, you haven't gone anywhere near this position where you were before, so you are staying behind it better, okay? But as we swing into here now, this movement here where your right leg is, what's it, McIlroy got to there, as you swing your arms through, your knees, it's all working together, you see. It's all kind of coming through as one movement together with the right leg, not quite as much kind of sort of breaking from here and then switching through and then the knee. It's a bit of a, which is why your path is a little bit left, hence why you get a bit of a pulley one. If that lower half sort of held back a little bit, and we're talking literally like 100 seconds, split second to be fair, but it'll feel like half a minute to you because it's a big change, okay? Then we can get that club. If we actually look, if I sort of do this quite quickly, sort of more into impact there, there's not as much lateral move there with your head. There is obviously a little bit of lateral move, but compared to what you were before, you're rocking back and forth like a sort of rocking dolls there. That move, it's probably halved, if not 3/4 less than what it was. Where before you were sort of 8 to 12 inches, now you're sort of 4 to 5 inch kind of thing. So it's a lot less in terms of rotation. Setup's a lot better. That looks going to go ahead there.
Yeah, staying with it.
Much better, you see? Much better. It's now that from here, the top of the backswing, we've got to feel this move, and keep him back. Okay? And that will then change your path to be a little bit more this way into the ball. The path obviously goes in this way and curves round. We're not just going straight out this way. There is a curvature to the path, okay? But it's getting away from being this direction where the right shoulder gets a bit too active and you're a bit over the top that way. You can sort of work down a little bit into that sort of hip position, okay? Your club's coming to a pretty good position here now, but this right arm and right shoulder gone a little bit kind of over the top, which is where the sort of slight pulley ones are. And then to hold on to it, look at your left arm as you come through onto not this is actually pretty good, to be fair, but some of your not so good ones, the left arm's a little bit kind of bending that way. Finish position, those good. You're nicely balanced on there. This is up on its toe there. There's no stepping through because your head's only moved from kind of there to there. You haven't moved over here somewhere in your foot trying to play catch up. So there's a lot of improvement in that movement. Overall, the head movement going back, I think from that movement there said, okay, great, we've ticked the box there, great. Okay, it's now working more on that transition from here, working down, keeping that lower half back. So keeping the top half back as the lower half unwinds.
It doesn't feel like that.
Oh, of course it wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. And that's why it's a difficult self-teach in some ways, because what you feel you're doing, you go, oh, I'm not doing that, I don't feel like I'm doing that. Nobody can really feel what they're doing. I get really active hands. It doesn't feel like my hands are working active at all. When I watch cameras on my shoulder, my hands are like this. I'm like, what the f***? Never done anywhere near that. No, can't be. I'm there holding the club face open. It's a lovely fade. And I go, and do that. But I can't feel it. It's just happening after 30 years of doing the same bloody thing. But it takes a bullet. And again, for me, I think a lot of people, you look at someone like, and this is not sort of said to kind of panic people, but at the same time to understand that things aren't going to be sort of like microwave society. It's basically a lifetime journey kind of thing. You look at Kyle when he went from trying to fade to a draw to try and win Augusta. It took him 2 years to get back to his original swing that he'd been doing for 20 years. Because he worked so hard changing it. We're changing a movement here now that you've been doing for a few years and sort of ingraining over time. Some days worse than this, some days not so bad, obviously, but it's still that same sort of sway there. And I think that sway probably came in for two or three reasons. One, trying to get more power. As we get older, we lose distance. You've been losing a bit of distance because of the way you swing across the golf ball, so your path and your ball flight are going to be a bit sort of higher floaty, losing distance. I want more power. Well, I'll give it one end of the top half, okay? Maybe not as flexible in the top half as we need to be or could be, okay? That's going to lose some distance, okay? So all these things are going to cause that top half to get a bit active, and the more active he gets, the weaker we get down here. So the weaker we get down here, the more active we get up here. And over time, they just keep playing off each other. As a result of what this is doing more and more and more. And it gets to a point now where you're so far that way that it's just really weak. And then really low. Your ball flight now is chalk and cheese to what it was a year ago. I mean, you were literally like knuckle dug, knee eye to a grasshopper, sort of scuttling through there. You couldn't get a driver above 10, 15 foot unless you sliced it 50 yards offline.
Yeah.
So you certainly now, if I sort of put a line back here to impact, that's kind of your impact there. If we put a line through there, that's how far your head's in front of the golf ball. I know if the ball's 2 inches, you're probably 6 inches there. I've seen some of your swing, you're over there somewhere, almost outside your left foot. And then as a result of your head being that far, being as we are head's heaviest part of the body, if your head's that far to the left, he's got to do something, and he's bound to step. It's the balance thing.
Yeah.
Okay, make sense?
Yeah.
So we're working more on that. The backswing for me, I'll say ticking the boxes now, but we'll keep checking on it.
Yep.
Not to go, oh, it's done now, yeah, leave it for the next 6, 7, whatever. It needs to be always kept up on top of and so on. But now it's more the downswing, keep that lower half back behind the golf ball. Okay?
I've got my own